Welcome to Nice Ashes. I'm Mike.
And I'm Nate, and I'm still sitting right across from Mike. I wish you could be as well.
Danger Zone.
Highway 2.
So, what are we smoking today, Nate?
We are rounding out our little brief foray into the La Gloria Cubana. This is the classic Maduro. So we've done the series R in season 1.
Yes.
We did the Spanish box press. We did the Serie N, and now this is the classic Maduro.
I have never, ever smoked this cigar.
That is very exciting because I have never, ever smoked any cigar. No, I've never smoked this cigar. That's right, this one.
In years past, I've smoked a few torpedoes that were La Gloria Cubanas and a lot of Rothschild-sized, I don't know what they were called.
Okay.
But this is more of a Toro. The last couple we've smoked were Robustos, which is pretty typical for the show.
Yeah.
I like Robustos.
Yep,
They're a nice size for the show.
Yes.
And you can get them for a reasonable price.
And a nice size for, everyday smoking, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. There's a lot of different sizes and lengths and
typically
and whatnot. So
if we don't mention the size, it's usually a Robusto.
Yeah.
I do a lot of Robustos because of the right length for the time we're getting at.
That we're aiming for, more or less. I mean, some are longer, some are shorter. Let's see. We've got some Kona Big Wave. And Mike's got one of his special whiskey sours.
Yep.
And then I was made something.
Yes. We'll call that apple ginger. I don't know what it is. It's a custom
vinegar with some ginger and vodka.
Yep. And sparkling water.
Yeah. And it's delish. All right. So this episode, we're going to talk about Mandela. Nelson Mandela.
I was going to be Mandela effect.
It is. It's the Mandela effect. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, really?
Really.
I get turned on by that.
I know. That's why I saved it.
Yeah, I like that shit. That's great. I busted my Sarah about that.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Okay. Do tell. Well, let's, before we tell. Are you going
to bring up instances of the Mandela effect?
I've got 50.
I will tell the story when we hit it because I guarantee it will be on there.
All right. So the Mandela effect, it's named by a paranormal researcher, Fiona Broom. It's defined as an instance when you remember something that isn't true, that doesn't match historical fact. There's one that I know and I swore it was true, but it was not.
Interesting. You swore.
I took the Lord's name in vain.
Oh my goodness.
About it. And I hope it comes up on here because it's one that our generation mistakenly believes quite often.
Maybe I am a victim.
You might be.
Or a perpetrator.
All right. So we're going to just hit into it because Mike's going to save his story for if and when this comes up.
It will. I guarantee it will.
So the first one is Jif versus Jiffy. So even though the name of your peanut butter doesn't quite matter when you're biting down on a peanut butter jelly sandwich, some people swear the peanut butter was actually named Jiffy and not Jif.
So they mix it with Skippy. Yeah.
Yeah, Skippy or Jiffy Pop.
Oh, I don't even know what those are.
Because there is a Jiffy Pop. That's the little popcorn you put over the stove burner. Or campfire, and it pops in a little
Oh, sure. We always use the old guy on the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but they said speculators think they're getting Jiffy confused with Skippy.
Yes.
And I'm a Jif boy myself, and I've done some blind peanut butter taste tests. I prefer Jif, but I've been doing a lot of the Skippy Natural, which tastes better than the Jif Natural.
I've been doing whatever they sell in the massive 2-packs at Costco.
Skippy.
Yes, sure.
So then it's Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer.
Okay.
Is the second one.
That's goofy. It's the same name.
Yeah. Spelling out the name, it's Mayer.
We didn't explain the origin of the Mandela effect.
So the origin of that is, here it is. The name was coined after political leader Nelson Mandela's death in 2013, but a lot of people swore that he died in prison in the 1980s.
Yes.
And they remember news coverage of the funeral, which doesn't match history because he died in 2013.
Yeah.
So that's the origins of the effect's name. All right. So these are kind of dumb. Maybe we should do a different one.
No, skip them and find a good one.
All right.
This might be half this and half riff. That's okay.
Okay, this one I think, because this one I believe, rock band Queen.
Yes.
We are the champions.
Yes.
Everybody, or some people swear that Freddie Mercury belts out the lyric, we are the champions of the world.
Yes.
In the song.
Yes.
But no.
I clearly remember that.
I clearly remember that. But I think where this comes from might be the Mighty Ducks. Because I believe they added that in when they're singing it around the campfire. Maybe. I don't know.
You know what? In my memory, I think of my younger years with lava lamps and all those things, and I seem to remember them saying, "Of the world."
Yeah. But I
now you know why I'm not a singer.
But I feel like it's Mighty Ducks.
It could be.
I feel like
I've heard it though.
I feel like I've heard it too.
Like a 6 CD changer, right? The basement, high on life, and
high on life and apple juice.
Yeah, with a surround sound system all hand wired in by a 15-year-old.
Let's see. The Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle. A lot of people think he does. I guess
I thought he did,
and so it says they're confusing him with Mr. Peanut.
Oh.
But he's monocle-less. He has no monocle.
Interesting.
This one I don't really care about, but I know my brother will. So 90 kids clearly remember black detailing on Pikachu's tail from Pokemon. And his tail is just yellow.
That's not apparently part of my ideal.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Some people, and this one is not one I follow, but people believe that Leonardo DiCaprio won multiple Oscars when, in fact, his first win was for The Revenant.
Okay.
I
can see that confusion, though.
Yeah, I mean, I believe he should have won for The Aviator.
Never watched it.
That one was really good.
I know that I used to have an intense hatred for Leonardo DiCaprio after Titanic because I was a teenager.
Yes.
And he's fantastic. He really is.
He's a really great actor.
Yeah,
I don't know
really
that The Revenant is the one he should have won one for. Right, like there's other.
It's kind of like Sam Jackson, It's like,
but
you got to give him something.
I'm not going to fault it.
Or Lord of the Rings, right? Like all the Oscars are on the last movie. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah. Okay. Then this one is just it's like a mishearing. But Darth Vader never ever says, "Luke, I am your father."
Interesting.
What he says is, "No, I am your father." Right?
Sure.
But people, just say, "Luke, I'm your father." And I don't know that this is a true Mandela effect because there's a lot of misheard or misremembered movie quotes.
Well, the Mandela effect is basically misremembering and you're jamming in.
Mm-hmm.
You're either shortening or correcting.
Or combining.
Yeah, you're autocorrect. It's like, we'll talk about it later when we hit the one that I am talking about.
This is the one I'm talking about right here, right now.
Yes.
The Sinbad genie movie does not exist.
Kazam.
Everybody thought, Kazam was
Shazam.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. Is Shazam or something.
But yeah, there was one that I thought it was true. I thought there was one called Shazam with Sinbad as a genie movie, but there's nothing ever like it, and Sinbad doesn't even look like Shaquille O'Neal, so it doesn't even make sense.
No, but it should have been.
Would be one.
But it should have been.
Should have been one. And that's not the one you're talking about.
No.
Okay. Then we will keep going.
Let's be honest. Like Sinbad should have been Shazam. They should make it happen. He's still alive.
He's still kicking.
Yeah, it'd be badass.
He's still kicking. Some of these are kind of like, I don't know if I want to get into them because there's fucking 50 of them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Here's one about MASH. One of my best friend from high school loves MASH.
Sarah loves MASH. She's MASH obsessed. She watched the entire arc of MASH, and I came in for the bowling episode. Every show she watches, she always makes sure that I see the bowling episode. Just like Bones. But, yeah, so what's up with MASH?
Okay. Many MASH viewers remember the death of one of the main lovable characters, Colonel Walter Raider O'Reilly, portrayed by actor Gary Burkhoff. However, the character...
Corporal, not Colonel. Corporal.
It says Colonel here.
It's Corporal.
Is that a Mandela effect?
No, it is not. He's a Corporal.
He's
not a colonel because he's not upper level management.
Okay.
He's like
we'll let the internet decide.
Does it really say colonel on there?
It does.
What a typo. He might not be. He could be a sergeant. I don't know, but he's not a colonel.
However, the character remained alive and well until the send-off episodes in season 8 of the series. All right. So the next one is JFK's car assassination, which none of us saw in real time. But there's a common misremembering that there were only 4 passengers in the car, but there were a total number of 6 of them in the car.
Interesting.
So it was the driver, 2 Secret Service agents, the Texas governor at the time, John Connolly and his wife, Nellie Connolly, plus President Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy. But the possible explanation is the angles from the photos and videos of which they were taken. Some of the people were obscured because, of course, they weren't really focusing on the Secret Service members.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they're not important. Then they probably wanted their identities protected for obvious reasons.
Yes. Yeah. So this one is, and I used to watch this one a lot from I Love Lucy. People think that Ricky said, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Mm-hmm. This is another, like, just misremembering. What he said in the show was, splain that if you can, Lucy, splain. Never, you got some splaining to do.
Interesting. I thought for sure that was a line. I can even hear it in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
I can hear Desi Arnaz screaming it.
Yep. Not the case, though. Some of this stuff is spelling and it's weird, and I don't really care. Cruella DeVille. Mm-hmm. People believe that it's spelled Deville instead of Devil. So Devil is the true spelling.
Oh, so it's like really obvious.
Devil. Yes.
Yeah.
So Oreo double stuff versus Oreo double stuff. STUF and STUFF. The true spelling is STUF.
Oh, see, I always figured it was STUFFED, but I'd never thought about it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, double stuffed, right? Like,
yep.
We're not heathens here.
No. Okay. Flintstones.
Oh, yes. I know
go.
that show only because of the sports that they play.
There you go. People think that the name is Flintstones when it's really Flintstones. The Flintstones. Not Flintstones.
No, it's Flintstone, yeah.
Flintstones.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
People are confused about that?
People think it's Flintstones.
Why?
It's just
it doesn't even make sense.
It's literally just a shortening of the thing.
It doesn't even make sense.
It's bad pronunciation is all that it comes down to.
Sense. Nate's reading. Very confused.
I'm reading.
He's
this
very
one's
confused.
Smokey Bear.
Yes.
Some people think that Smokey the Bear is the actual name of the famous bear, informing us that only we can prevent forest fires. In fact, the bear is simply named Smokey Bear. It's not Smokey the Bear. It's just Smokey Bear.
Okay.
I don't see why that one's important.
I don't see the difference in there.
I'm trying to skip some of these freaking spelling and, like, is it hyphenated or not hyphenated? It doesn't really matter.
And you might skip the one that I'm talking about.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it after the effect, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess the next one is everybody remembers learning about 50 states in America, although some presidents have said there might be more.
Yes, we're at war with Iraq.
Yes. Anyway, so they think that the confusion about learning about 51 or 52 is because we have territories like the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico.
What about Guam? Everybody shits on Guam.
No, we care about Guam.
Why do we shit on Guam?
The Guamese? What are they called?
Guamites.
Guamites? I'm sure that's super offensive, but I don't know what to call them.
I'm sorry, individuals from Guam.
Yes.
I thought about going to college, but you have crazy brown tree snakes, and that frightens me.
Yes. Big snakes dropping from trees is not...
They're not big. They're little tiny fuckers, and they can, like, lift their bodies up, like, 3 feet, and they can crawl through windows like that.
Okay.
It's off. They're not, like, super poisonous or anything.
Yeah.
It's, like, crazy.
It's almost like the little geckos in Florida and shit. They're, like, everywhere, and it's just like, I don't want that crawling across me at night, you know what I mean?
A ton of videos of people, like, getting rid of these snakes, and they're, like, biting them, and they're, like, throwing them away. They're just obnoxious. I guess, like, the number one defense is cats.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so Kit Kat. Kit Kat versus Kit Kat. One is hyphenated and one is just all mushed together.
It's Kit Kat.
The hyphenation is not correct.
Okay.
There is no hyphen between Kit and Kat. It's just Kit Kat.
I never was confused about that. I've listened to a lot of videos online about the Mandela effect, and every time you find one, it's a break in space time. You know, I get really big into the conspiracy videos because I love it. It's this.
Yeah.
I find it so fascinating. The crazy talk stuff, and Sarah hates it. I listened to. Do you know who John McClane is?
No.
John McClane's obviously the main character from Die Hard, but also a makeup artist who looks and sounds more or less like a woman.
Yep.
And John McClane does makeup videos, and he will scrub his face, looks like a man.
Yes.
Starts to do the makeup, and by the end of the video, looks like a woman. And he's a professional makeup artist. And he'll talk. And sometimes it'll be information about makeup and stuff. Most of the time, it's about aliens and like psychotic shit. I watch them because it's hilarious. I find it so humorous. Biggest troll of all time. I'm pretty sure.
Here's the next one. It has to do with colors.
Mm-hmm.
Chartreuse.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a lot of people believe chartreuse is a pink magenta color.
No, I know what color it is.
It's a green yellow.
Yes.
I literally do not care.
Yes.
I call things red or green or blue or yellow. And
chartreuse is also a liquor, which is green.
Coral or salmon, or I don't care. It's pink. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, all the variations of color, though. I mean, you got to use the sub-variations to vary.
I understand there's variations of color, but I don't know them.
For the listeners, I'm pointing at a watch band that I have that is very colorful and has many different variations.
Yeah, and mine has blue and dark blue. My watch band.
Okay.
All right, so it's like a grayish blue and like a navy blue. But like that's all you're gonna get out of me. I don't know. Okay, Mr. Rogers' theme song.
Yes.
People think it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood is the lyric.
Yes.
But it isn't. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. So only his neighborhood. Now here's one that is akin to the Star Wars one. Silence of the Lambs.
Don't break the ash. Don't break the ash.
I'm not. Silence of the Lambs.
Yes. Clarice. Hannibal Lecter. Some public figure talked about Hannibal Lecter like he was a real person not that long ago. Can't remember the context.
I mean, he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Portrayed by Sir Anthony Hopkins. Okay. So people think that Anthony Hopkins says, "Hello, Clarice."
Yes.
But all he says is, "Good morning."
Really? Yeah, I would have bet money on that.
But that feels pretty iconic.
I would have bet money on that. Yeah, I would have bet money on that.
Right?
I broke the ash, everybody, by accident.
Yep, after he chastised me to not do so, and mine is
still
not broken.
Within seconds.
Yeah.
Within seconds.
All right, so Risky Business, the movie. Tom Cruise in one scene is depicted dancing in nothing but a button-down shirt, his tighty whities,
socks.
And people think a pair of sunglasses, but he was not wearing sunglasses.
He had socks on.
Sure, maybe. That's not part of this.
Pretty sure he had socks on.
Okay.
Because he slid across the room.
Yeah, but I think the sunglasses comes from the movie poster.
Oh, sure.
Right. But they didn't say that in here, but and then like the C-3PO from Star Wars, people think he's all gold, but his right leg is silver below the knee, which now with 9 Star Wars films out, we all know because
I didn't know that.
You see him a lot. All right, Cheez-Its or Cheez-It. Which one?
I always call them Cheez-Its. That doesn't mean that's called Cheez-It, though.
Yep, they're just Cheez-It. There's no Z. No Cheez-Its. This one I get right all the time because I say this on a weekly basis to Sarah in some form or another. Lord of the Rings. A lot of people think Gandalf is telling them before he falls down with the Balrog, run, you fools. But the true line is, fly, you fools.
Ah, there we go. I was going to say, I don't know. I'm a Lord of the Rings guy, but I'm not
Which some people on the internet have taken to saying Gandalf in that instance is telling them to call the Eagles. But I think that's kind of a stretch.
Was that the book or the movie or both?
This is in the movie for sure. I'd have to I haven't read the book since high school, so
we just listened to it last summer, but I don't recall. I spent most of my time listening to it reading Sarah, not the book.
Okay.
Because she had never read it or listened to it on an audiobook, and she was offended for most of it, and I found it humorous, so I was getting a lot of kick out of that. I probably should have paid more attention.
Yep. All right, here's one. This might be the one you're talking about, actually. Fruit of the Loom. The Fruit of the Loom? I know you're shaking your head. This is a joke. I'm making a joke. The Fruit of the Loom logo stitched on the back of your undies.
Yes.
Do you remember, is it a cornucopia with fruit flowing out of it?
Grapes.
Or is it the original logo is just a pile of fruit? It has no cornucopia.
I think it's just a pile of fruit.
There you go.
I use Hanes because they have micro modal underwears.
Yep.
Have you used micro modal underwears?
I've got some Hanes, and then I've got this other brand that I like, which is Gildan.
Oh, yeah, Gildan, yeah. My undershirts are Gildans.
Okay.
They're super cheap.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're comfy.
Do you get micro modal? I'm like super specific.
I don't know, man. I'd have to look.
Yeah, I don't like cotton, and I don't like the polyester, but I like that micro modal, which might be just marketing jargon for a different kind of polyester.
Yeah, I mean, mine might be polyester, the Hanes that I have, because they're fairly thin and like chic or shiny or something. Not like shiny. I don't mean like shiny, like kind of like a sports jersey type.
Sure.
You know, like what a football player pants are made out of or something, right? Like,
I feel as though the micro modals stick to my legs better when I start to sweat. They don't ride up into my crotch.
Yes.
And that's like
there are some things we like riding into our crotch, but underwear is not one of them.
Yes. I was told years ago by an older guy that you need to start wearing boxer briefs so your nuts don't fall down to your ankles.
Yeah.
So I started wearing boxer briefs, and then the biggest issue is that if you don't buy high quality ones, then they get up into your shit when you're sweating and working and doing all that. So I've been very particular about...
I've done boxer briefs for a long time.
We used to do just regular boxers.
Yeah, I did those for a very brief time, and I just didn't like them.
Oh, I thought they were great because it was like nothing was there. It's just piss protectors for your work pants.
But if you get like, and these like Gildans are fine. Like they're comfortable and nice, and they don't ride up. But if you get good ones, you don't feel like anything's there either, really. I mean, you're not like swinging, you know what I mean? But like,
right.
I'm not spending my days thinking about being uncomfortable.
Oh, when I get that like pulled up into the crotch region, I'm like, oh my fucking God, I can't handle it. And
it's the leg bands, like the elastic on the leg band thing.
Oh, you think it is? Maybe that is what it is.
Yeah,
because pulls up and like I'm usually always sweating and hot.
Yep,
working in the summer,
that's
or doing an activity in the summer.
I think the Hanes that I have, the whole leg is kind of elasticy, not just the bottom. So it helps keep the whole leg down.
All mine are elastic, like, I suppose.
Okay.
But I think that material just kind of like, I don't know, maybe more grip on your leg, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, possibly. All right, this one I don't know. I mean, this might be one. It seems a bit old for people, but Sally Field's Oscar acceptance speech, and I feel like this is a sound clip snippet or something, sound clip that I've heard. You like me, you really like me.
Yes.
Like, so that was what we thought.
They like me, they really like me.
What we thought we heard in her acceptance speech. But what she really said was, I can't deny the fact that you like me right now, you like me.
Interesting.
Which seems a lot different because even though I don't think I watched that one, because that must have been, I don't know when.
People don't even remember who Sally Fields is. I remember her because she was in the Muppets.
Okay. I remember her for other things.
Yes.
Not the Muppets, but for other stuff. But I feel like I remember like an audio clip of, you like me, you really like me. But
I remember they like me. They
okay.
Really
well, whatever
me.
it is. But like, that's stupid. Not even close.
No, not even close. Said.
So that one's pretty wild.
Oh, Sally Field.
Yeah.
I was thinking the blonde dancer girl. Not Sally Field. Everybody knows who Sally Field is.
Yeah.
She was in Smokey and the Bandit.
The blonde dancer girl nobody knows.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them. So.
She was in Scooby-Doo as well. No, I don't remember her name. Doesn't matter.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Curious George. What is Curious George?
A monkey.
With?
A guy in a yellow cowboy hat.
Yes. Does Curious George have a long tail?
No.
Does he have a short tail?
I don't remember his tail.
He has no tail. But some people remember him as having a tail. But he has no tail. Alrighty. Okay, so the Lindbergh baby. I'm going to talk about the Lindbergh baby because Charles Lindbergh is from here.
Yes, he is. Little Falls, Minnesota. And for those of you in this region, go to Lindbergh State Park and take that hiking trail, baby. That is up and down the river, and it's a beautiful walk. You should probably wear boots. There are portions of it that are muddy, and there's definitely wet, rocky areas. They have stone steps that get sprayed from the river. So it is kind of a wetter trail, but it's very nice. Everybody should do it.
All right. So Lindbergh baby. Charles Lindbergh's 20-month-old child was abducted in 1932. It was a widespread media sensation. People have been convinced that the case has not yet been solved.
Yes.
When in reality, the child's remains were found a mere 2 months later. The killer was convicted and put on death row.
I would have bet money that it was never solved.
Yep. The canonization of Mother Teresa. Or Teresa, however you pronounce it.
She's not been canonized, but she's on the way to sainthood, right? Something like that?
No. People think she was canonized by Pope John Paul II in the 1990s while she was still alive, but she was canonized by Pope Francis in 2016. So she has been canonized, but not as far back as people think.
Have you ever looked into Mother Teresa?
I looked a little bit into her to know enough that she was, despite claiming to be selfless, or people thinking of her as selfless, she behaved very selfishly in her role as a nun.
Yes. That's a very quick explanation. Maybe I should do a deep dive on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
I don't know what's true and what's not true. It takes some work.
It would take a little bit of work.
Yeah, which is good. That's my style.
Yes. The research I've done on her, of course, framed her as being selfless and framed her as going against some of the church's wishes for selfless reasons when in fact they were not. But if you read it in the intent of, and maybe this is just because I went to too many Lutheran services as a child and how they like to wordplay and make things seem different than they actually are, you can see that she was very egotistically motivated. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying if you're holding her up as an ideal of selflessness.
I wasn't even looking at that. I was more like, to my understanding, she really didn't do a whole lot for anybody other than publicity for the Catholic Church in a positive direction.
Yeah.
She ran just a house where people went to die. It's not like she was helping anybody. She didn't help anybody escape poverty.
Did she euthanize any of them? Because that would be helping.
I don't think she euthanized anybody. I think she let them starve to death. I think she did hospice care, and from my understanding, she didn't really feed them or give them comfortable places to sleep.
Okay.
I saw videos, and it was cots in a warehouse.
Yeah.
That's not where I want to sleep, I'll tell you that. I would sleep on my fucking lawn. Which isn't a bad place to sleep. But yeah.
Mosquitoes, but otherwise.
As long as it's completely dark, it's probably not that bad.
Yeah. All right. Next one is Neil Armstrong's death.
I've never heard of that.
Of what?
Never heard of that Mandela effect.
Oh, that he died?
Yeah.
So he's still alive.
I think he's still alive.
He died in 2012.
Oh,
most people don't remember his death.
No,
that is the Mandela effect. You fell right into it.
I fell into it. That's on this show.
Yes.
On this show. Why am I always the foil? I'm just a foolish man saying foolish things.
You got to stop letting me pick the topics, man. Pick your own topics, and I'll be the fool again.
Let's talk about the Amish again.
Yeah. The Rumsberger. That was me from that Amish episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't want to go back and listen, it's just the whole episode of me going, Rumsberger.
Maybe I'll do Amish 2.0. I'll have to listen to the episode.
No, I want you to go into the field.
Oh, I could go into the field.
Do you think Amish smoke cigars? Could we get an Amish guest on without them knowing it? Is that illegal? Is that a hate crime?
We could get, if I did a lot of research and time, I might be able to get an ex-Amish. I could get an ex-Amish. Maybe long shot.
Okay. This next one has to do with the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Who was their spokesperson? Do you remember?
No.
Okay,
that was before my time.
Before my time too. A lot of people have a vivid memory of Ed McMahon appearing on people's doorsteps.
Ed McMahon.
Sorry, Ed McMahon. My bad.
Don't disrespect Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon.
Come on, dude. We talked about this. I read things. I don't pronounce things.
Mm-hmm.
Kids watch Hadarach, right?
Something like that.
Come on.
Kwisatz Haderach.
There you go. The pronouncing I don't do. The reading I do. Okay? All right. But it wasn't him. He was, Ed McMahon did American Family Publishers, which is a rival sweepstakes promotion, but he never once appeared on camera for that.
Interesting. Well, that's not too far off, though. That's a misunderstanding or whatever.
Okay. Is it Berenstain Bears or Berenstain Bears? This is the one. I could get my Sarah here, even though I think she's I don't think she would be
balls deep in her adventure. She's neat size, got as big as saucers on that one. She's redoing her nails right now.
I've always said you're more progressive than me, Mike.
Yeah, there we go. For all the listeners who don't care,
which is probably not true.
Sarah has a full nail salon in the house.
Yes.
So she's redoing her nails right now for an event. So we had a very heated argument.
But not a sponsor. But if you want to check out her nails at some point in the future, she will have a website up.
Yes. And she does press-ons, which are very impressive. And she does spots in Minneapolis, specifically to do nail art.
I've seen some of the press-ons. She did one whole set grilling. And it was crazy because nails aren't really that big. But you could see the little grill marks on the steak on the nails.
Oh, yes.
So she's crazy good.
She makes, this is a total aside, but she makes very good money with her clientele just for the art. And she does spots at Pros down in Rosedale next to the mall. And
you look at me like I know.
I think it's
where you would go
the
to
Rosedale Mall. Yeah. But yeah, she does spots like once a month, and she goes there for 3 or 4 days, and it's like 12-hour days. It's crazy. So, not to pump my beautiful, lovely, young spouse.
No reason not to. It's our podcast.
Yeah, it is our podcast.
Who we want.
So
and you can pump whoever you want in your bedroom.
Any listeners who think they want their nails done,
reach out on our Facebook page, and we will connect you.
Yes. So we got into a heated argument in the car. I can't remember what we were doing. We were driving for some trip.
In the car you were driving?
I was driving.
Oh, Sarah, the humanity.
Yeah, Sarah never drives. I always drive. She doesn't want to drive. But she said, it's Berenstain Bears. I'm like, nah. It's Berenstain Bears. She's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, the guy's name is Berenstain. It's always been Berenstain. The guy's actual name is Berenstain. You remember Berenstain because Berenstain makes a lot more sense of Berenstain because we're used to the Steins and not the Stains. Not a whole lot of Stains around. So people just shorten it up to Steen because they're not used to the Stain.
But it's not even any shorter. It's an A versus an E.
We're just accustomed to it. You're accustomed to it.
But it is Berenstain.
It is.
It is not Berenstain.
Never been. I actually had to. She didn't believe me. I showed her on the internet. This is how crazy we got. I showed her on the internet. Yeah. She's like, you're full of shit. She grabbed a book that she had from her childhood. That she had, like, not my book, her book.
Yep.
Berenstain.
Yep.
It's like, shocker.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
We're just, like, obviously it was all in jest. It's not like we were angry or anything.
Yeah. Just a normal heated argument between two partners.
Well, heated is the, exaggeration.
Well,
by a long
excited.
Shot.
We'll just say excited.
Yeah, I mean, I was enjoying myself.
Right, we've had, everybody, even you and I have had kind of like, I don't know about heated, but like excited discussions about things.
Oh, sure.
Exciting
is actually the best term. It's not like there's no anger.
Yeah.
Or resentment. Yeah. It's just like.
Yeah. Maybe we just call it sparky because there's like a little bit of heat, but it's not like angry heat. It's just kind of like sizzle.
Yeah, it's based on sizzle. Like enthusiasm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The next one, Gremlins.
Okay.
What was the main villain's gremlin?
I don't know.
Was it Spike or Stripe?
I'm going to say Spike.
It was Stripe.
There we go.
But you just walked into that one because you didn't know to begin with.
And Spike sounds better than Stripe.
I haven't seen the film in a long time, so I didn't remember any of the little furry things' names.
I saw it one time, and I'm sure I was intoxicated.
But one of them was Gizmo, right? Wasn't the main one Gizmo?
Okay. The nice one?
Yeah, I don't know. The one
goodie?
That didn't get fed after midnight? Let's see. Yeah, Gizmo. Yeah, that was the name of the first one. The good one. All right, where is New Zealand located, dude? I mean, this is like geography.
Northeast of Australia.
Perfect. Many people would argue that New Zealand is located northeast of Australia, but in actuality, New Zealand is located southeast from Australia.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I'm not going to argue it.
Oh, no. I mean, but that was perfect because when I was reading it, I was like, northeast. No.
Yeah, I figured it was closer to the Peloponnesian Islands and stuff like that.
All right, Looney Tunes. Is it Looney Tunes, Tunes, or Looney Tunes, Toons?
Tunes.
You are correct. Some people think it's the other one, though.
I can believe that, I can understand why people would think that because of cartoons.
Yeah. All right, in Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Uh-oh. I hear that's dwarf-phobic.
Maybe it's pro-dwarfophilia. Except for Grumpy. All right, what does the evil queen say into the mirror?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?
Perfect. The actual line is magic mirror on the wall.
That's great.
It's crazy how prevalent these things are.
Oh, I mean,
isn't it?
It's not like I'm going to make a conspiracy video on the internet about it, though.
Yeah. No. All right, here we go. This one. All right, the Tiananmen Square Tank Man.
Mm-hmm.
What was the story behind that picture? Or what happened to that dude?
You walked away.
The truth is, there was no Tiananmen Square anything, and China's great. I'm kidding. That's a joke because they censor everything, right? They don't even allow Winnie the Pooh over there.
Oh my god!
So people believe that he got run over by the tank, but in reality, he was dangerously close. But he was forcibly removed from the path of the tank, so he didn't walk away himself. Sure, but he was forcibly removed.
Sure. So this is related to this topic, and we're vamping a little.
It's a fun episode.
What happened to calling Communist China? Because I remember hearing that as Red China and Communist China when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Every time you said Taiwan and Communist China, or Taiwan and Red China. There was China was not an individual word. I never heard Free China. I know that's before my time. They had like Communist China and Free China.
Yeah.
It was Taiwan and Communist China. And I still say Communist China.
Okay.
What happened to that? Do you remember that?
It sounds familiar. I have a feeling that it probably has to do with them being a big player. Maybe the fall of the Berlin Wall. I don't know. I feel like the threat of communism kind of reached a peak in the Cold War.
Sure.
And then after that, it kind of wasn't as big a threat anymore because
so they dropped
in the eyes of America, like we defeated communism.
Was it the capitalist pigs trying to like not make it communist China because everything's made there? You know what I mean?
Well, I tried to Google it here, and there's there's an actual Chinese Communist Revolution in 1949.
I knew that. I wrote a paper about it.
Okay, but I feel like so here there's another one on BBC News that says I'm going to have to read this name, and we've already talked in this episode about me pronouncing things. Xi Jinping's
Xi Jinping
effort to return to socialism. So maybe China itself has tried to distance itself a little bit from the communist moniker.
Oh, they did. Yeah, after Mao, they did go through kind of like the perestroika that the Soviet Union went through, and they tried to capitalize their society. And I know that Xi Jinping has been re-communizing.
Okay.
There's a lot more censorship there now than there was, let's say, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I can't remember.
And I know the whole Taiwan thing is crazy.
Yeah, well, the United States government in like the 70s acknowledged that Taiwan was part of China. It's really shitty.
Oh, okay.
Geopolitically, it's a disaster because Taiwan makes a lot of technical stuff that we need.
Yeah.
And we cannot have that fall into communism, aka Communist China.
Yeah.
Because Communist China is horrifically corrupt, even more corrupt than our corrupt system, which is horrifically corrupt. But we don't want to like start a world war with China.
No.
So it's a real tenuous situation. The thing that is not talked about a lot, at least on television, is that Taiwan has built up a massive military-industrial complex.
Okay.
Only for protection of their island against Chinese invasion.
Okay.
Independently of the United States is a stretch. Without direct
there's
U.S.
nothing independent of anybody anymore.
They have their own military industry.
Look at Ukraine.
Taiwan makes the chips that we put into fucking everything. So now this industrial center, they've been creating a military since 1945 specifically to defend the island against invasion from communist China.
Do you think it's enough?
I don't think that communist China is willing to bite that because
I don't think they're willing to bite it, but I think if they did, I don't think it would be enough just by sheer numbers alone.
No, I don't. I disagree. I think that Taiwan could fight them off.
Okay.
Japan would immediately get involved.
Yeah. There's so many different treaties and things that would be true.
The United States, hopefully the United States wouldn't get directly involved. But Japan would immediately get involved. And Japan has a massive military force.
Okay.
Only for their island, though. They're not a global military force like the United States, you know?
They're not Team America, World Police.
Right. But between those two, they can fight off China, and you're thinking numbers, but you have to remember that, or not remember, but take into consideration that China does not do R&D independent. Yeah. They are stealing R&D from other countries.
Yeah.
So any top secret stuff or any high tech stuff, China cannot replicate.
Yeah.
So it'd be like World War I, where the Germans had machine guns.
Yeah.
And the French were sending in soldiers on horses against machine guns. It doesn't matter if you send 1 million guys against 15 dudes with machine guns and unlimited ammo.
Yeah.
The unlimited ammo part of the machine gun is going to dominate.
Yeah.
How many ever you cannot possibly send enough horses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it'd be that kind of situation. That's at least some of the theorists that I've been investigating.
Well, and it all comes down to like the modeling, right? Like the war models or scenario modeling.
For what I understand, Taiwan has a mountain region, and that is like extremely fortified, and not fortified for like defense of the mountain. It's fortified for defense of the island with modern technology. Laser guided, not even laser guided. It's like GPS guided missile systems and crazy like technology that we have. They're the ones that provide us with this infrastructure, and they're gleaning off of our infrastructure and developing their own weapon systems independently, and it's kind of what they've been doing since Chiang Kai-shek crossed the sea and started his own little fascist empire over there, which now I guess is more of a democracy and less like a fascist thing.
Do you think North Korea would get involved?
North Korea can't even shoot a missile to fucking Japan.
Yeah, they can't shoot a missile anywhere except the ocean.
North Korea is a joke.
Yeah.
We talk about North Korea like they're the goddamn boogeyman.
I love the satellite images of North and South Korea at night, and it's like the palace is lit up in North Korea, and everything else is just pitch black. And it's like,
dude, their people want to rebel. North Korea is paper tiger is like this joke or whatever. It's like it is the definition though of a paper tiger. North Korea is very dangerous because they have nuclear weapons, obviously, but they're really only dangerous to themselves and maybe Japan. South Korea certainly.
South Korea.
No, South Korea certainly. South Korea might have a missile defense system to shoot those fuckers down. Japan certainly does. The issue is like nuclear fallout and poisoning of the oceans, and we're not really worried about our brothers and sisters in Japan and South Korea being seriously injured by the force of the North Korean tank system or something. I watched a video China came out with last year, and they were showing off this new jet. Like a fighter jet. And it was a copy of a Soviet jet from like 30 fucking years ago. They're like trying to rebrand it. And it's like, dude, this is... I'm not saying it's ancient technology, but it's just not...
It's not going to compete with modern...
It can't compete, and we in the know, who is everybody listening...
who's anybody not in North Korea?
Everybody not in North Korea and China. You cannot have a production system in a communist government where you have quotas on the end side with no QC, because if you have a quota on the end side, your QC has to slide. You know, there's going to be backups and shit like that, and they don't allow for a backup. Communist China has a system where they're incentivized to lie at every level. So by the time you get to our media, well, now there's like the local guy and the sub-regional manager and the regional manager, and all these guys are lying. And I should show you some videos of their fields that are like pieces of rebar with rocks glued on top. And like crazy, like they're like spray painting the sides of roads with cans of spray paint to make it look like it's not industrial fallout. Like it's a...
Interesting,
and it makes you appreciate America, even though, like I say, like we have a very corrupt society.
Well, and even though we discussed on the show that we're not number one.
We are not number one.
We're quite near number 30 whatever of the countries, of the 30-some countries that we're, you know, quote-unquote competing with on a lot of these criteria.
The criteria that we value as citizens of the modern world. So when it comes to, like, basic shit, there are no farmers who are sticking rebar in the ground and gluing rocks on top or spray painting the side of the road with paint. That's a whole level different than what we are accustomed to seeing. I do not think that China is capable of conquering Taiwan, even without direct U.S. intervention. Because Taiwan is... They're not
capable.
quite in the sphere of the Western world, but they will be in 10 years, most likely.
Yeah. They at least have technology.
They are the producers of the baseline of our technology, and they're not destroying their environment doing it. Mm-hmm. They're very accomplished at the industrial stuff, and I don't think that's like, from what I understand, and this is not like, I'm not an expert, obviously, I'm just some dumb fuck in the middle of nowhere, but they're not quite at the economic development that we are in the like 36 top countries, but they're like number 38.
Yeah.
They're right outside of the region. Like they're real close.
Nipping at the heels.
They're nipping at the heels. Like South Korea is crossing in now.
Yeah.
Taiwan is next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you and I could go to Japan on a vacation, not knowing Japanese, and be cool.
Yeah. We
can't quite go to Taiwan yet.
Yeah.
But in 10 years, probably. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to have any issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to spin this a little slightly different way, talking about getting things in and out of communist countries and how they behave, real quick movie recommendation for anybody listening, and maybe for Mike himself. The movie just came out, I think, earlier this year, called Tetris.
Didn't watch it.
You should. It's all about the game Tetris.
The Soviet guy that made it and didn't make any money on it?
Yeah. And trying to get it licensed for the rest of the world.
Yep.
Now, they did take some of the things and make it a little more Hollywoodized to make it a little more exciting, but it's pretty exciting, just the real story as is.
And I feel bad because, not that I have to show you, but I was going to for no particular reason. I spent money to buy Tetris, like the real version, on my stupid phone years ago.
Yeah.
Like years ago. Yeah. I bought the real, like, expensive, nice ash, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Nice ash. We got at least an inch and a quarter. Looks like 3/8.
We can round up.
We're gonna round up to inch and a half. We're gonna round up to inch and a half.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think a lot of the browbeating we get from the current government. If you watch a lot of the Chinese adjacent non-mainstream media types like ADV China and Serpen ZA and Wowly, these guys live there for years. They have Chinese wives, and it's very informative about the Chinese system and what's going on there and their social problems. They lived there for years, and it's not as frightening as I was very afraid. I am not afraid.
Yeah.
As afraid as I would have been had I not, like, listened to their understanding of their culture.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about this before too on the show, is, the media, our media, is not there to inform you. It's there to keep you afraid of certain things.
Right.
So that you don't pay attention to the 47 million emails that JP Morgan deleted so that they wouldn't be held culpable in funding Epstein Island, right? And you're not supposed to pay attention to some unknown president's son's bag of cocaine at the White House.
Right.
You're supposed to be afraid of North Korea, who, they're sticking forks in their outlets trying to power their nuclear devices or some shit. Like,
right.
I don't know.
They don't want you to look like, I think it was HSB Bank, one of the biggest banks in the country, in the world.
Yeah.
Funding Al-Qaeda directly, banking. It's like HSBC. Those fuckers, it's one of the biggest banks in the world.
Yeah.
And they're directly dealing with Al-Qaeda. That's like evil shit.
Oh, yeah.
If a listener is listening and you think Al-Qaeda is okay, stop listening now.
Yeah. Well, and
you know what I mean?
I remember too when the Taliban retook Iraq or Iran. One of the two,
Afghanistan.
Right? Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And people were saying, "Oh, they promised that they're going to be better now," and then they totally weren't. And it's like, well, what the fuck did you think?
These people have religious extremism from 2,000 years ago, 1,400 years ago, or whatever. It's
whatever it is.
Yeah, they're not going to stop doing their fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
They've been that way since the beginning of time.
They're always going to do it.
Yeah, like, we're going to be culturally understanding. No, you can't be culturally understanding. There's people who are, like...
And an extremist Muslim.
Well... That's their own brand, right? That's their own brand of, like, crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's totally anathema to our way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much anybody wants to say that you as an individual are a monster because of X, Y reason, I guarantee you you're not as bad as like the average person in Afghanistan as far as your politics.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. And then now that you're not even talking about the average, you're talking about the extreme people there.
Yeah.
They're fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's going on in France right now.
I have been paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know that we want to delve into that because we've got a couple more Mandela effects to go through. But, you know, a lot of people are not calling out the real problem in France.
Which is?
I don't know that I dare say.
Say it. What are they going to do?
I don't know what anybody's going to do. I might not be able to go to France and get my French haircut. Is the immigration.
Yeah.
Because I saw something, and you know, a lot of this is through memes, so how accurate is it? But it was pretty damn accurate with the Titan submersible. So, and good news, everyone, the controller survived. There's an image of it on the bottom of the ocean floor, and it is intact and all in one piece, unlike the 5 billionaires.
What a fucking joke. I sent you that meme, right?
Yeah.
That little video where it was like 10 different things that happened. It's like, fuck those people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good that they died.
Well,
but I don't care.
I'm saying it's good that 4 of them died. The only one I feel bad about is the son, the 19-year-old son that was dragged along by his billionaire father.
Oh, I was talking about, or I thought you were going to say the pilot who was the explorer, who's like a scientist guy who investigates shit.
Well, he didn't investigate shit on the submersible.
Well, you know, you got to do what you're told to a certain extent. I sympathize.
I don't.
Wow.
I sympathize with the son that was dragged along by his overbearing father.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else can get fucked and crushed at the bottom of the sea, which is what happened.
There we go. I'm fine with all of them dying, to be honest with you, but not like,
I mean, you know,
like I say, I'm just saying,
like, you know, I don't know. I mean, so I saw something too where it's like people say
Nate's a full 1 3/4 on his ash right now.
Yeah,
he is budding.
Yes.
He is budding.
Yes. So proud right now. I want to thank my fans, the Academy, all that yada yada stuff. By and large, and till the cows come home. And wait, that was last episode. Sorry.
The Berenstain Bears.
Yeah. So I was reading something where, you know, people are like, oh, well, it's not good that people die ever, even billionaires. And billionaires make however many decisions a day that fuck over everybody else.
Yeah.
And cause other people to die horrible deaths, like not being able to afford insulin or healthcare or literally anything.
You know, Nate, you won't let that one go. For some reason, you will not let the insulin issue go.
Some unnamed reason.
It's almost like the guy who invented it said, I want it to be free. And then they monetized it and charged a car payment, a fucking bottle that you take multiple times a day.
A car payment a month. Right? Like, not a car payment for your year supply, a car payment every time you fucking need the thing. So, you know, maybe the fact that all these billionaires and the billionaire offspring dying isn't really that much cause for sadness.
No.
In the world.
Doesn't break my heart, but...
You know, I mean, I still, like, I guess morally, like, I still don't really want people to die. I would rather have...
Do you really not?
I would really rather have them, like, learn and grow through their experiences, but you're squished at the bottom of the ocean, so I guess you can't learn and grow anymore.
You're a better man than me.
I don't know.
You're a better man than me. I definitely want some people to experience unpleasant things.
I want people to experience
kind of like death.
Unpleasant things. Those are the people that should experience unpleasant things are mostly like the pedophiles and maybe police officers who will not charge into an elementary school building to prevent loss of child life.
They're free to get their pensions, bro. Come on, they deserve that pension.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying hypothetically. In Minecraft, they should be punished.
Yeah.
Reverend Billy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think he died?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm glad he's dead though.
Give a shit. So people think that he died decades ago, but he passed away in 2018. So that's another Mandela effect.
Sure.
There are good police officers out there. The system, though, I think, just to go back to the
Uvalde, sure.
Uvalde,
I mean,
you know, and I don't know what the true cause of Uvalde was.
I'm not sure if we talked about it on the show or not, but you and I have. It's like these extreme circumstances make you very skewed about certain professions like police.
Yeah.
Well, out of the millions of police interactions a year, we get, let's say, 500 that go viral and bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So statistically, your odds are pretty good that it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that's very dependent on location. You know, if you're in Skid Row in Los Angeles, you're a lot more likely to get an aggressive cop than you are in, Cokato, Minnesota.
But and that might be okay in that town of Minnesota, but the report came out about the Minneapolis police force, and they are very racist, apparently, because they did a big investigation after George Floyd. And the report came out and said that they've been operating under racist
define racist
parameters.
You know, like George Floyd's a very interesting case, and
that's an interesting case, and it's not really here or there. I'm just, part of it is just, people want to defend police officers to the same extent they want to defend politicians.
Sure.
And if I am saying that the Uvalde police force not charging in to save children's lives is worthy of punishment, and people get upset that I'm against all police officers, or I'm saying all police officers are cowards, or all police officers are this or that.
Yeah.
I will also say I don't know what the Uvalde Police Department's protocol was for this sort of thing. I am upset and sad in life that we even have to be talking about what protocols are for school shooters. Right? Like that should be something that should just not ever happen. But it does happen. And I think that if you're a police officer, you should either go in and fix the situation.
Right.
Or you should let the adults, the parents in Texas who stayed strapped to not get clapped, go in and fix it for you. You know what I mean?
Right. The Uvalde, obviously it's very angering and frustrating, but
it's very interesting. Like case study almost.
Oh yeah. At a certain point they had the crowd effect. There's so many fucking cops there.
Yeah.
That of course they're going to do nothing. Once you get a big enough crowd, you're no longer functional.
Yeah.
At a certain, they cross
like the mob mentality almost.
Yeah, they got a mob mentality, but amongst the
police
officers, right?
Yeah.
So there's obviously people who are very culpable. Very nice, Ash.
Kind of curved though.
A little tingler.
For her pleasure.
Yeah. We're bridging 2 inches here, folks. We're bridging 2 inches.
I wonder what the record is.
I'm sure it's somewhere on
What movie was that where they made her? Oh, I think it was Aliens. Remember that? The sequel to Alien, and Sigourney Weaver sitting there with a cigarette, and it's got the fucking longest ash you've ever seen on a cigarette. And like if she would have moved at all, the ash would have fallen off.
I wonder if they glued it.
I don't think so. I think it was legit.
That's pretty cool.
Because it was smoking, and this is like, pre a lot of CGI stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just wanted to kind of like clarify some of the Uvalde hatred of that police unit, force, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very convenient to say that all 300 of them should have been, disbarred or fired.
I wasn't there, but and I think part of it might be like the American heroicism type of thing, where we're used to John Wayne solo charging into something and fixing everything, right?
Have you seen the Sky News hour-long episode about Uvalde?
No.
You should watch it.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Okay.
There was like a handful of ringleaders that were like calling everybody down.
Okay.
According to Sky News, which they're like the Fox of Australia. So, they definitely have a agenda, and they want to lay blame on a handful of people. But it's very interesting. I don't obviously not. Who knows what the fucking truth is?
Yeah, I mean, so none of us were there. I think, however it was spun or whatever happened or whatever came out or the story that came out, basically it seems like the police were there and refused to charge the building because they were waiting for like a building key, and it turns out the doors were unlocked.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's kind of that thing, and it maybe harkens back to the abortion stuff where, Republicans who are stereotypically the gun-toting, rah-rah, let's fuck some shit up, want to protect children's lives at all costs, but only when they're in the uterus. Right. And then once they're out of the uterus, they don't mind about sending them to prison or having them starve to death or
not having Head Start,
whatever else,
nutrition,
right?
Yeah, there's layers and layers.
So,
of that,
I'm sure it's a big cultural thing that needs to be unpacked. I wish, in retrospect, that I always wish there's no school shootings.
Oh, that's a hot take right there.
In retrospect, I wish the police force would have gone in and resolved things
a little earlier,
or a lot earlier, probably than they did.
A minute or two.
Yeah, I don't remember how long they sat outside.
And 45 minutes to an hour, or something like that. I can't remember the exact number. But it was a ridiculously long time. It wasn't 2 minutes.
It seems, and again, we weren't there, but it seems like it was too long. I was going to go somewhere else, but you know what? My ash is still gloriously long.
It is.
I'm going to see if I can make it last. Skechers, the shoes.
Yes.
You know how it's spelled.
Sketchers.
Okay. And that is the Mandela effect.
There we go.
It is spelled Skechers. There's no T.
There we go. I am a victim of this every time.
I'm trying to get you. Okay, so Febreze.
Febrees.
Well, you're falling into the Mandela effect and then like just circling the rim a little bit. So it's Febreze, so it's Febreze.
Oh.
It's not breeze like fresh breeze sweeping across the plain. All right, so that's kind of it. We went through about 50 of them. We didn't read every single one because some of the spelling things are a little less interesting. The Berenstain Bears, maybe being the most interesting.
Oh, most interesting to me.
Some of the movie lines were really good. The New Zealand stuff was good. We didn't talk about this, and this will be, 3 weeks old now when you're listening to this.
Yes.
But let's do short hot takes.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to quiz you.
Okay.
I'm not going to. It's not a quiz.
I had a really hot take, but I'm not sure if we should say it on air.
I want your opinion.
Okay.
On two things.
Okay.
Supreme Court outlawing affirmative action at college admissions.
I'm okay with that.
Me too. What the naysayers have been saying is that children of alumni are getting preferential treatment, which is typically white males.
Was like in the past, sure, but not now anymore because the majority of college graduates for many years have been women.
Yeah, and I don't know how much in practice that still is.
I have no idea.
I know if you're rich enough, it doesn't really matter. You just buy your way in.
Exactly.
But college is not really about education. It's about funneling more money to whomever. All right, so that one's covered. And then a lot of people thought that was bad.
Yes.
But I read a story about an Asian who had super high SAT scores, and he couldn't get placed in a college because a African American got placed with a super low SAT score because of affirmative action. So we're not even talking whites and blacks. We're talking, and this goes back to the Black Lives Matter and the Stop Asian Hate. Like, Stop Asian Hate is no longer a thing because Black Lives Matter crowd were the ones with the majority of the Asian hate.
Yes.
All right. The other Supreme Court ruling was that Biden's student loan forgiveness plan was unconstitutional.
Which was 100% predictable when he passed his thing 2 years ago or whatever fuck it was. Every person who was reputable and knowledgeable said that it was going to fail in court.
And we talked about this on the show.
Yes. Everybody knew. It was not a surprise. It's pathetic that... it's just a dog and pony show.
Smoke show.
It's just a fucking dog and pony show. Yeah. Smoke show, whatever you want to call it. It's
whatever
nonsense.
You want to call it.
It's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
It was always that. It was never not
because
that.
He ran on that or he wanted to do that.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to say he tried.
Hey, I did it, but those damn Republicans who I'm also a secret member of didn't want to do it.
My friends said that I couldn't do the thing that I knew I couldn't do.
So I tried and now it's their fault.
Yes, exactly. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
Total nonsense.
It's blame shifting is what it is.
Yes.
Because he didn't care. He didn't want to do it because the government makes money off of every defaulted loan, whether it's private or public, because they back everything. Look at this freaking ash.
Dude, you are the ash king of the evening.
I guess. The ash master.
The ash master. That's a good one.
I don't know how far I can keep going.
We'll find out. I'm
going to try not to make rapid movements. Or sneeze.
We have affirmed 2 inches of ash. I mean, my level eye is telling me it's 2 inches of ash.
It's gotta be.
So,
all right.
So we're about done. This was very good. We didn't talk about it the whole time. It's usually a good sign.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know if I liked it more than the Serie N, though.
No, this was a lot more bland. I shouldn't say bland because it was very
not
good.
Bland. It was very.
It wasn't complex by any stretch of the imagination, but it was good.
It was really good. Yeah,
solid stick if you're playing around a golf.
Yeah,
something decent. You can put it on the cart. And...
I think though I still like the Spanish press and the Serie N better than this one. But again, it's kind of like, what do you want from your stick, and where and when are you smoking it?
Right. This is simpler, less complex, but very good.
Very good
throughout. Decent. Just not like it's not super interesting.
Yeah,
it's
the other two were kind of like, if I were in a trench in World War I might write a little letter home about. Mm-hmm. This one would just kind of be, it's good, but I don't know that I would take pen to paper over it.
No.
Necessarily.
No.
And it's not meant as a slight on the stick because it was very tasty. Because it depends on, you're probably not going to grab a Serie N or a Spanish press and go mow the lawn.
No.
Or what have you.
I'm not going to grab a Spanish press or a Series N and bring it to a party and give it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. I'd give this to somebody else who's not a cigar smoker because it is good.
It's good.
It's not...
You'd give it to somebody who likes some darker cigars, but isn't fully both feet in the cigar realm.
Right.
Yes.
So that's our last hot take, which I'm sure you missed all of.
We'll see. You never know what the editor does.
There we go.
Crazy fucker.
Hot takes.
Hot takes, hot sticks, hot ash. Nice ash.
Be safe, have fun.
Thanks for listening.